Well, hello there, neighbors. Come on in, lock the gate, and pull the curtains, because what I am about to tell you is going to make your hair stand on end. Put the kettle on. Actually, forget the tea. Pour something stronger. Because Lady C has just dropped a bomb so shocking, so earth-shattering, that it has sent the entire royal circle spinning into absolute chaos. We need to talk, and I mean really talk, about the secret that is currently making the walls of the Montecito Olive Garden shake. Now I know you guys are excited for more Harry and Friend, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, what Lady Colin Campbell revealed wasn't just another royal rumor. It wasn't just a bit of idle gossip over the garden fence. It was a secret buried so deep that even Buckingham Palace trembled when it slipped out. She spoke of something the evil mastermind Meghan Markle never ever wanted whispered again. And it all circles around one haunting, persistent question that none of us can seem to shake. Where is Archie really? Because according to Lady C, and let's be honest, she usually knows where the bodies are buried, Archie isn't growing up under the sunny skies of Montecito. Oh no. She claims he's in the UK, living with his mother. But here is the twist that will make your blood run cold. That woman isn't Meghan Markle. I know. Take a breath. It sounds insane, doesn't it? But look at the facts. Look at the secrecy. It needs to happen. We need the truth. The British public, the world, needs proof that those children, Archie and Lilibet, are actually of the body of Meghan Markle. Because if they aren't, Harry and Meghan are not entitled to privacy in this matter. Their privacy is trumped by our right to know. And I'm going to use the harsh words here because it's the reality of the Constitution that no bastard is going to sit on the throne of this country. That is the law. That is the history. All Harry and Meghan need to do to silence us, to shut down the haters, is prove to us that she popped those babies out. Just show the doctor's signatures. Show the unfiltered birth video. Show something other than a black and white photo of a foot. But they won't. And suddenly, all those smiles Meghan flashes in public, they start to look forced, don't they? Her calm, her confidence, everything seems just a little too rehearsed, too perfect. Because if even a single part of what Lady C said is true, then everything we've been told for the last 5 years has been one beautifully constructed lie. A lie designed to defraud the crown, defraud the taxpayer, and defraud the history books. So, where is Archie? Why is this the only topic that makes the spotlight-hungry Z-lister visibly panic, no matter how carefully she tries to hide it? Let's rewind. Because this isn't just a rumor. It's a web of whispers that refuses to die. You can try to bury this story, but somehow, every time you do, it claws its way back up again. Louder, stronger, harder to ignore. According to Quiet Palace insiders, the kind who know more than they ever admit, Archie may not be living in America at all. They whisper that he's growing up quietly somewhere in Britain, in a modest home, raised not by a nanny or a caretaker, but by the woman they call his mother. No titles, no attention, just a woman raising a child who was never supposed to leave the country. Now, I'm not here to make you believe anything blindly. I'm just here to take you into the mystery because this one, it doesn't go away. And it all begins with a timeline, one that frankly, neighbors, doesn't add up. Harry and Meghan were married on May 19, 2018. Archie was said to be born on May 6, 2019. That means his conception would have happened around August 2018, just 3 months after the royal wedding. Sounds normal enough, right? Except that August 2018 was when Meghan had total control over Harry. Emotionally, physically, mentally. She was glued to him. Every day, every moment, every public appearance, she was there. It was the golden phase of their relationship, the part where you'd expect no room for secrets. So, how could another woman enter the picture? How could there even be space for something so explosive to happen? That's where the story turns icy. Because when you follow the calendar, when you look closely at the dates, things start to look off. The timeline doesn't close the mystery, it opens it wider. And that brings us to the heart of Lady C's claim that Archie never left Britain because he was never meant to. The theory is that the child we think of as Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor may have been raised quietly by another woman, the one who gave birth to him. In this version of the story, Think about Harry's frequent UK visits, those quick, secretive trips that never quite make sense. Suddenly, they do, because according to these whispers, the brainwashed favorite royal lapdog puppet doesn't go back for nostalgia or court hearings or charity events. He goes back because his child is there, and that explains so much, doesn't it? The tension on his face whenever the UK is mentioned, the strange pull between two worlds, the way he seems constantly torn. There's something heavier behind those eyes, something that's never been said out loud. If this story is true, it changes everything. Because Meghan, the woman who built her empire on control, on image, on being untouchable, suddenly finds herself replaced. Not publicly, not on paper, but in the one way that matters most to her, biologically, by another woman. A woman who holds the bond Meghan couldn't control. Imagine that kind of emotional earthquake. For someone like Meghan, this wouldn't just be betrayal, it would be annihilation. It wouldn't feel like infidelity, it would feel like erasure. Yet, instead of exploding, instead of leaving or exposing him, Meghan stayed. And that's the most chilling part. Because if this story is true, her decision to stay wasn't about love, it was about power. She realized she had something stronger than heartbreak. She had leverage, a secret that would tie Harry to her forever. By staying, she'd keep her royal title, her fame, her influence, her platform, but most importantly, she'd hold something over him that no one could take away. I know what you did, her silence would say, and I'll never let you forget it. That silence becomes a weapon. Every argument, every move, every word, she'd have the upper hand. The power to make him obey, to remind him what she could destroy if she ever chose to speak. It's no longer a marriage. It's a contract, a quiet, deadly negotiation built on guilt, fear, and control. This explains why Harry looks so miserable, doesn't it? He's trapped in a cage of his own making, and she holds the key. But there's another version of this story, one less scandalous, but just as unsettling. Some believe there was no affair, no cheating, no betrayal at all. They say Archie's origins may lie in a surrogacy arrangement, one that didn't go as planned. According to this version, a British surrogate was chosen to carry the royal child because Meghan allegedly couldn't or wouldn't. Everything was arranged, controlled, and planned to perfection until, unexpectedly, the surrogate refused to hand the baby over. She decided to keep him. If that's true, it explains everything. The secrecy, the silence, the missing moments. In this version, Harry's son still lives in the UK, but with the woman who carried him. No cheating, no affair, just heartbreak of a different kind. Because for Meghan, that kind of child, one she didn't carry, didn't bond with, wouldn't hold any emotional meaning. There's no attachment, no value, no control. To her, it would be a loose end, an inconvenience, something she'd rather erase from her narrative. But for Harry? For Harry, it's his child, his blood, his son. And that's a connection no amount of Hollywood brainwashing can destroy. So he travels back quietly, secretly, to see the boy growing up far from the cameras, far from California. A boy who doesn't even realize the storms surrounding his name. Each visit becomes a silent battle. Meghan sets the conditions. Harry obeys them. Every trip, every goodbye, every photo becomes a negotiation, one that always ends in her favor. And that's why, whether it's the affair version or the surrogate version, the result remains the same. Archie lives in the UK. Harry visits him. Meghan holds the power. But that brings up another question, neighbors. A question that should scare us all. If Archie isn't in America, then who or what have we been seeing in those polished family videos and photographs? Because according to people close to the scene, there are three eerie possibilities. The first, a child actor. Yes, some believe a stand-in has been used for public appearances, matching Archie's age and features, carefully filmed from angles that hide too much, just enough to maintain the illusion. Rent a kid. It sounds dystopian, but in Hollywood, is it impossible? The second, another family's child, a friend's toddler, perhaps used briefly for a few seconds of footage. A turned head, a hat, a quick movement. It's easy to make the world believe what it wants to see. And the third, the most disturbing of all, digital manipulation. That the real photos Harry takes during his visits are later edited into scenes from Montecito or elsewhere, creating a story that looks real but isn't. The invisible children who change hair color, change size, and change appearance in every single photo. No matter which theory you lean toward, one truth stands out. If Archie truly lives in Britain, then every image we've seen of him in America is a performance, crafted, borrowed, or digitally arranged. And this is the part where the whole illusion starts to collapse. Every detail, every smile, every photo, every family moment begins to look like a cover-up. Because if nothing's real, then what's left? Why go to such lengths? Why pretend? Why risk exposure when silence would have been easier? That's the question even Meghan's closest watchers can't answer. Because with every passing year, every new photo, every awkward interview, something just doesn't align. The timelines, the trips, the way Harry stiffens at questions about his children, the way Meghan redirects, smiles, and moves on. It's almost as if the story is held together by sheer will. One wrong word, one wrong image, and the entire illusion would shatter. And so the mystery lingers like smoke you can't clear. Every time someone tries to forget it, another strange coincidence appears. Another odd photo where the kid has no legs, another strange trip, another moment that doesn't make sense. And at the center of it all, a child no one has truly seen. Every royal story has two versions, the one told to the world and the one whispered in the dark. And when it comes to Archie, the whispers are louder than ever. Because if Lady C's claim holds even a shred of truth, if Archie really is in Britain growing up quietly with the woman who gave birth to him, then everything changes. Harry's sudden visits make sense. Meghan's cold distance makes sense. The missing milestones, the staged videos, the airbrushed perfection. It all makes sense. But most of all, it changes how we see Harry. Because maybe he's not just the runaway prince chasing freedom. Maybe he's a father living two lives. One public, one hidden. One built for cameras, and one kept in the shadows for the only person who truly matters to him. Picture it. A small British town, a quiet garden, a red-haired boy laughing as he runs through the grass, unaware of the headlines or the secrets swirling around his name. His father visits quietly, holding him tight, whispering promises he can't make public. A mother keeps her distance from the noise, protecting the boy's peace while the world argues about a story she never asked for. Meanwhile, in America, Meghan shines under studio lights, brand deals, interviews, speeches, the life she's always wanted, a life where that child no longer fits the picture. Two worlds, one secret, and a truth that refuses to stay buried. Because secrets like this don't die. They linger. They echo. They slip through interviews, through photos, through carefully rehearsed smiles. And one day, whether by accident or courage, they surface. Until then, the question remains exactly as Lady C left it. Where is Archie? And why has no one ever truly answered? And yet, the world keeps spinning as if nothing ever happened. Cameras still flash, interviews still air, Meghan still walks red carpets as though her story has no cracks. But those who've been watching closely, you and me, neighbors, the ones who remember the smallest details, know that something has never quite added up. Every time Harry speaks about fatherhood, his eyes soften for just a moment, then cloud over, as if he's seeing someone he can't mention. And every time Meghan smiles through another charity event, there's a faint tension in her face. The kind that comes from holding too many secrets for too long. Even the people around them feel it. The staff, the security, the ones who've come and gone, all say the same thing in whispers. Something's off. No one says what. They don't need to. It's in the air. And maybe that's why this story refuses to die. Because truth has a strange way of surviving, even when buried under years of image and power. No matter how polished the PR statements, no matter how rehearsed the smiles, there's always that one tiny detail that slips through the cracks. Maybe it's in the way Harry looks back at the UK whenever he lands in America. Maybe it's the quiet pain in his voice when he says, "My son." Maybe it's the way Meghan avoids questions about family life like she's dodging a landmine. Whatever it is, it's enough to keep the whispers alive. Enough to make people wonder if one day, maybe not soon, but someday, the truth will finally step out of the shadows. And contrast this with the dignity of William and Catherine. We see George, Charlotte, and Louis. We saw the doctor's signatures. We saw Catherine on the steps of the Lindo wing, hours after giving birth, presenting the heir to the people. That is transparency. That is duty. That is the monarchy. Meghan and Harry have turned their family into a reality show mystery plot, and frankly, it is an insult to the institution. So neighbors, what do you think? Is Lady C right? Is Archie actually a British boy growing up in secret? Is that why Harry looks so haunted? Or is this just the wildest conspiracy yet? Personally, I think where there is this much smoke, there is usually a very large fire burning in the basement. I'm gonna go pour myself another one because this story gives me the chills. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Archie is in the UK? And if he is, what should the king do about the line of succession? I read every single one of your comments, and I can't wait to see what you make of this bombshell. Until next time, keep your eyes open, trust your gut, and God save the king. Ta-ta, and bye for now.